Helping neighbors in just a few short minutes and hours after the storm passed, to see the activity of neighbors that were helping the two most impacted houses on a particular street, helping them with what they needed to start the cleanup efforts, makes me so proud, not just to be mayor of Louisville, but to be a Louisvillian.
Mayor Greenberg underscoring the overwhelming support the community gave to each other, neighbor to neighbor, after last night's storms ripped through Kentucky. The National Weather Service has officially confirmed 5 tornadoes touched down in Kentuckiana, 1 in Nelson, Anderson, and Jessamine counties in Kentucky. The NWS also confirmed 1 tornado in Corydon, Indiana. The service just officially confirmed tornadoes in the 2 areas with the most damage, Prospect, Kentucky, and Jeffersonville, Indiana. An EF1 damage of at least 105 miles per hour has been determined happened in Prospect, and an EF1 tornado of 100 miles per hour was potentially seen in Jeffersonville. The survey is ongoing, so we'll have more coming up on that. Right now, officials are working on the cleanup efforts after last night's storms. Anchorage Middletown Fire Department says during searches last night, they touched 1,033 structures, and 38 of those structures had minor damage, but 37 had major damage, and 5 structures were destroyed. Out of 100 residents they helped, 22 people had minor injuries that did not require medical treatment. Officials with the American Red Cross want to assist anyone they can today.
Today, we are focusing on damage assessment. So our teams are out in the area. They will be assessing individual homes. They will be talking to residents, and they will be facilitating the recovery process.
If you can't stay in your home, you can call 1-800-RED Cross to get any help. The mayor has declared a state of emergency for Jefferson County to help with those cleanup services. And if you have damage to your home, officials also want you to be aware of any scams out there. And here are some tips to keep in mind. Contact your insurance company and follow their instructions and leads. Research contractors that say they can help, get more than one estimate, and check with the Better Business Bureau. Resist high-pressure sales tactics, especially if somebody comes to your door, and do not pay up front. For more information on how to avoid these scams or report severe weather, just head to WHAS11.com. Right now, homeowners in Prospect are beginning the long effort to clean up and rebuild. But figuring out where to start is obstacle number 1. GMK anchor Eric King and chief photojournalist Philip Merle are surveying the damage in the hard-hit area of Hunting Creek.
One of the most notable realities here in Hunting Creek in the Prospect area is that what was reality yesterday is not remotely reality today. This entire area is really going to have to do a lot of work to pick up the pieces. The good news is, though, there are a lot of people here to help pick up the pieces. I'm going to focus your attention first over here, and you'll see a lot of news equipment just because this house is so badly damaged. You've got a lot of attention on it. That tree splintered in half. This house here, the roof up there has completely collapsed on itself. Something else that we should point out is not only did it collapse on itself, we're told it actually moved over and landed on that house. Something else worth pointing out, if you look down at the ground here, it almost looks like there was a snowstorm of some sort. I gotta tell you, this is insulation. That's how much damage this storm did in this particular area.
My parents called and just told us that the tornado had hit their house.
Now this is the home where we met Perry Snowden, who actually drove in during the storms when he heard what was going on to help secure his family's home. But this is what he found.
I think really it's just try to get it as cleaned up as possible because we don't want them to have to come home to a bigger disaster and they're already going to have to. So salvage what we can and just clean up all the rest.
Perry was kind enough to offer us these 2 photos from inside his parents' home. This one is taken from the upstairs and you can see the damage. It's an open hole to the outside. This picture is from the downstairs portion of the home and you can see how much damage is done there as well. So now the work begins. People like Perry have started the cleanup effort. People around him have started the cleanup effort, and they're not doing it alone. We've already seen a number of tree services, a number of roofing services. MSD is coming through right now, a number of insurance adjusters. It's all hands on deck. We mentioned anytime something like this happens, there's certainly no shortage of work to be done. But the good news out here is there's no shortage of people willing to do it.
All right, thanks so much to our Eric King. In 25 minutes from now, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is expected to provide more information about the severe weather the Commonwealth experienced. Governor Beshear's update will happen at 12:30, and we will bring it to you live on air once it begins. Well, before coming into Jefferson County, the storm ripped through parts of eastern Jeffersonville, Indiana. And this is the moment our meteorologists believe that the tornado was crossing the river, blowing over the East End Bridge. WHAS11's Connor Steffen is in Jeffersonville. And Connor, how are cleanup efforts going there?
Well, Connie, we can tell you we're seeing some pretty severe damage here in Jeffersonville. The mayor, Mike Moore, tells us they're looking at a 1 to 2 week cleanup process. Of course, we'll step out of the way and just show you some of what we're talking about here. As our photojournalist Jessica Farley zooms in, you'll see we're pretty far away from where the hardest hit area is. That's because there are police blocking off that way because of how many people and how much cleanup is going on right now. What we can tell you about this storm is that the mayor says it came in from East Jeffersonville and hit several neighborhoods and subdivisions in the area. We also know that as of right now, the count is still 10 people injured here in Jeffersonville. You have about 80 structures that were damaged, 4 devastating beyond repair, and 30 severe structures damaged. And as of right now, when we're looking at the power, about 80 houses are still in the dark right now. The mayor says while there is a lot of monetary damage, he's just lucky that no one was killed.
You see the rooftops pulled off of houses, and you know, people were in there sitting down for dinner. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, you need to recognize how lucky we are.
So if you are a resident in the area, an affected resident, you can go ahead and call the city street department, give them your name and your address. Mayor Moore says they will help you clear any heavy debris or trees from the area. They're also posting dumpsters in a lot of these subdivisions. One last thing really important to remember, if you're one of these affected homeowners, Mayor Mike Moore says to be careful of scams, be careful of out-of-state roofing companies. He said basically just do your due diligence before signing any checks. We're live in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, Connor, some great information there. Now, if you've been impacted by the storm, there are resources out there for you. You can call the Red Cross at the number on your screen. That's 1-800-733-2767. According to the Mayor's Post, there's a Family Displacement Resource Center at Fire Station number 4 on East 10th Street, and you can call the city street department to help with clearing debris or tree limbs. All of this comes so timely as today marks 50 years since the most violent tornado outbreak ever recorded in our country. 148 tornadoes were confirmed in 13 states, including Kentucky and Indiana. And today, Mayor Greenberg joined former Louisville Mayor Harvey Sloan to commemorate the event. Sloan had been Louisville's mayor 4 months to the day when an EF4 tornado barreled through the city. 2 people died and 200 others were hurt. Several people came back to recount what happened that day versus what we see today.
It was just 4 months after we were inaugurated in December 1, 1973, that the tornado hit. And it just totally shocked the community.
Now, Mayor Greenberg says he was just a year old at the time of the tornado, but he did learn about it, of course, in school. And a memorial ceremony will honor the 31 people that were killed and 150 others hurt when an EF5 tornado from that supercell struck Brandenburg. Survivors from that day will be featured during that event, which is at First Baptist Church at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And we here at WHAS11 will also reflect on the deadly outbreak. 74 Tornado, 50 years later, is a special presentation showcasing how the tornadoes changed hundreds of thousands of lives in Kentuckiana. And you can catch it right here on WHAS11 today at 3:30.